a computer-aged photo of missing girl Madeleine McCann. Now, this is what she might look like today at the age of 9, 5 years after she disappeared while on vacation with her family in Portugal. British investigators think that it is possible Madeleine is still alive, and they have launched a massive review of more than 40,000 pieces of evidence. Joining us now, criminal profiler Pat Brown, and Pat is writing a book on the McCann case. Hi, Pat.
Hi, Sandy.
So Scotland Yard wants to reopen the investigation, and they're saying the evidence suggests that Madeleine may still be alive. Do you believe it?
Well, I'm kind of wondering where they're coming up with that, because first of all, if she were kidnapped and were somewhere out there in the world, she's had her face. This is the most well-known missing child in the entire world, with tremendous publicity. Her photo has been everywhere, and she has a particular unusual eye, coloboma, which is a real standout, so that somebody would never have seen her, or that anybody would keep her around with that particular, identifying mark and run around in public with her is so unlikely that it's hard to believe that she would pop up after all this time. Also, there's a simple fact that if she were abducted, it would be most likely by a local person right in Praia de Luz. That's what all the evidence points to if it were an abduction. So we would be looking at a local child sex predator who would probably have killed her within the hour. That's what we have for all the statistics. So I'm not quite sure where they're coming from. I'm not sure what any of the evidence they're reviewed tells them that she's out there someplace, when they haven't in fact even proven an abduction, and they haven't brought the parents back in and the friends and done all the proper re-interviews, and they haven't done another crime reconstruction. I'm not quite sure where they're coming from, but there's always hope, and we have that.
Yeah, no, true. Always good to have hope. But they've built up a huge portfolio here, if you will. 37 investigators on the case now. They said that they found 195 investigative opportunities that weren't looked at, some simple, some complex, and they're only a quarter of the way through the documents. Now, I gather that whatever their investigation is in the UK, holds no sway in Portugal. All of this would have to go back to Portugal, police in Portugal, would it not?
That's correct. The Portuguese would have to reopen the case, which, by the way, can be reopened if the McCanns just ask it to be reopened. They have not done so. But yes, they would have to conduct the investigation. Now, of course, if it's true that the Met finds really great information that convinces the Portuguese police that there's something out there that they've completely overlooked, great information to say Madeleine is alive somewhere and they need to go look for her, or that she isn't alive but they could focus in on a suspect, well, they would probably do that. But I'm just not sure where they're coming from. As I said, when you review a case, you always go back to the beginning, and I don't understand why this particular investigation, this review, shall we say, has skipped the beginning and gone to looking at a massive amount of tips, because we all know that there's so many tips that come in cases, and you can just drive yourself crazy running down every one of them. So you have to go back to the evidence and review the actual crime, all the crime scene evidence, and start there.
Okay, Pat Brown, thanks so much.
Thanks, Sandy.